Ah, yes, the sacred myth of institutional memory. You know, the idea that keeping 87-year-old senators around is some kind of national security strategy. Apparently, geriatric gridlock is now a feature, not a bug. Because nothing says responsive democracy like laws being written by people who still call the internet a series of tubes. We've got members of Congress so old their original campaign promises were made on Betamax, and a Supreme Court justices playing constitutional necromancer until death or dementia, whichever comes first. Let's cut the crap. This isn't about experience, it's about entrenchment, about building a system where incumbents die in office with 70% name recognition and 14% approval rating, where elections are just ceremonial rubber stamps for legacy brands, Coke versus Pepsi, in a warm vending machine. These folks have more power than kings, less accountability than TikTok influencers, and the job security of a North Korean news anchor. And we're told term limits would weaken institutions? Buddy, have you seen Congress? That institution's already held together with duct tape, donor money, and dementia meds. Congress today is like grandma's attic, full of dusty furniture, forgotten rules, and things that used to work but probably shouldn't be plugged in anymore. The longer someone stays in power, the more likely they start thinking that their seat belongs to them and not the people. Power calcifies, arrogance fossilizes, and suddenly you've got senators treating the Constitution like their emotional support animal. You can't reform a system that's designed to resist reform. You have to rewrite it with actual limits, on terms, on power, on this idea that public service means clinging to the podium like it's the last lifeboat on the Titanic. Here's the thing, real liberty doesn't come from legacy seats or lifetime robes. It comes from turnover, from humility, from designing a system where no one's above the law just because they've been sitting near it for 40 years. We don't need career politicians, we need citizen legislators. Rotating voices, limited terms, real debate, and fewer careerists auditioning for a Netflix docuseries. Term limits aren't just good policy, they're good political pest control. And if your job requires power for life to make a difference, maybe you're not a public servant. Maybe you're just addicted to the throne.